BTC was bringing the markets down once again to start the day yesterday. The king crypto decided to fall, which meant a majority of the altcoins were coming down with it. The week started out bearish and a winter cold breeze dusted across our necks. Is there a warm bearish light at the end of the tunnel? Find out in 10 minutes, give or take a few, because it's time for Chico Crypto. Yeah, BTC with a wonky-tonky chart that began this dip. From 58,500 Monday night, it slid down like a slope and then fell to the resistance point of 55K. The rest of Monday and into Tuesday morning, bounce baby, bounce off of that resistance of 55K. Why is that 55K number so important? Well, pulling out the BTC chart, since we broke into these higher levels, 45K plus, you can see the price has been between 55K to 60K for a good amount of time, 48 days to be exact. The next most important range is 50K to 55K, 21 days. Basically, for the past 3 months, out of all those days, we have spent 2 months and a week between 50K to 60K, with a few short-lived instance anomalies breaking down out of the ranges or above. So my opinion, being in this range of 50K to 60K is like the price is coiling up like a spring. If it stays within it, even breaking down below 55K, that isn't bearish. We should be getting very scared if it breaks below 50K. And I don't think that is happening. Why? Well, a beautiful story is about to unfold. Yesterday, the Zuck revealed on his platform, Facebook, that he has a goat named Bitcoin. But with a picture of his goat, Bitcoin, another goat named Max. Is Zuckerberg a Bitcoin maxi? So you don't name a home animal, aka a pet, after something unless you like that something or they look like that something. I'm gonna name my next dog Hans because I like Star Wars, and it would be even better if he looked like Harrison Ford, but I'm not counting on it. Zuckerberg obviously likes Bitcoin. If it's a pet, naming his goat after it. It's obviously maybe a signal that he hodls some, but how much? Well, back in December of last year, a high-stakes capital, highly connected whale in the space, #1 trader by P&L on the FTX exchange, tweeted this. There is a serious rumor that Mark Zuckerberg has acquired BTC for $3 billion through Candy Capital. It came to me from a solid source. If true, I guess it's a personal investment for using this family office and doesn't want publicity. Hey, Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, Mark wants to stay ahead. That tweet was deleted shortly after by High Stakes Capital in December. If that is true, he bought $3 billion back in December of 2020. That $3 billion would be worth around $10 billion today. Zuck would be one of the largest individual Bitcoin whales out there. Just think of the media headlines about the news when it finally dribbles out. Zuckerberg versus the Winklevoss twins, the second coming, part 2. It would be a story that would be talked about across the airwaves. So when could the Zuck buy announcement be coming? Well, going to Facebook's investor relation events page, suspiciously on May 26, just in 2 weeks, is the annual Facebook shareholders meeting. Just a coincidence Zuck posts the BTC GOAT image pre-shareholder meeting, or is he trying to tell the world something? Well, that BTC buy of his is still just a rumor. What if he didn't make the buy and doesn't hold any Bitcoin? What does that image mean then? Well, it just might be a war cry against the asset, as Diem, his company's currency, is rumored to get its initial launch later in the year. Did you see how I was a little weary to call the goats pets of Zuckerberg? Well, that is because he likes to kill and eat them. Business Insider reported just that in 2011, and Zuck said, "This year I've basically become a vegetarian since the only meat I'm eating is from animals I've killed myself. So far this has been a good experience. I'm eating a lot of healthier foods and I've learned a lot about sustainable farming and raising of animals." Hey, but that doesn't mean it's the goats, right, Chico? Those are his pets, right? Well, a Bitcoiner, a popular one who is publicly holding BTC, including with his companies, Jack Dorsey, went to the Zuckerberg's house for a meal. He spoke on this in an interview with Rolling Stone in 2019. Here's what Jack said in response to the question, what was his most memorable encounter with Zuckerberg? Well, there was a year when he was only eating what he was killing. He made goat for me for dinner. He killed the goat. In front of you, they asked? Jack replied, no, he killed it before. I guess he kills it. He kills it with a laser gun, and then the knife. Then they send it to the butcher. Rolling Stone replied shockingly, a laser gun? Jack replied, I don't know, a stun gun. They stun it and then he knifed it. They send it to a butcher. I go to Zuckerberg, we're eating the goat you killed? He said, yeah. I said, have you eaten goat before? He's like, yeah, I love it. I'm like, what else are we having? Salad, he replied. I said, where is the goat? It's in the oven, he said. Then we waited for about 30 minutes. He is like, I think it's done now. We go in the dining room. He puts the goat down. It was cold. That was memorable. I don't know if it went back in the oven. I just ate my salad. Yeah, a tad bit weird, even for an elitist like Jack Dorsey, who I'm sure has seen his share of weirdo rich board antics. But Zuck munches down on the goat. So is he planning some sort of weird ritual to kill and eat the Bitcoin on the day of the Diem release? Save Bitcoin from the Zuck, poor thing.
Just set the charcoal up and you set the wood chips up, and then smoking meats, grilling meats, good smoky flavor.
Examine with eyes. This Bitcoin looks delicious. Chew, 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 swallow, yes.
Now, finally, I'd like to end this episode off with an update from one of my favorite altcoins, the Energy Web Chain. CEO of the project, Walter Kook, 2 weeks ago dropped this cryptic tweet. Time for another steak. No carbs this time.
Did you say steak?
What was this in relation to? Energy web staking? No. SUSU staking. Yes, over the past few weeks, an energy web ecosystem project went into a stealth release, Carbonswap. This is a DEX, decentralized exchange, running on the Energy Web chain, and the governance token of it, SUSU, has the option to stake. Yes, staking the governance token SUSU into XSUSU through the platform, you earn exchange swapping fees. The more exchange traffic, the more stake to eat. So the question is, will the exchange bring in that traffic? Well, going to Carbonswap's documentation and its roadmap, they talk of the NFT track, and here's where things get exciting. The team says, we don't want to jump on the NFT bandwagon just because everyone is doing it. We want to create products that are actually useful and fit into the theme of the energy web. NFTs and sustainability already have a special connection even before it was cool. They are already used in some projects under the hood representing renewable energy certificates or various assets. It's time to bring some of this to light and make them accessible and exciting, winking face. And then down below in the teaser of what is coming, there is an integration with Energy Web 0 for decarbonization of these NFTs and the pooling and fractionalization of real energy attribute certificates and other various green collectibles. What does this frickin' mean? Well, the energy sector is about to be DeFi'd. Energy assets into NFTs, certificates into NFTs, and these can all be traded, pooled, or put to work in a decentralized manner. The regulators are moving too slow. Carbonswap is a DeFi bridge to close the regulatory gap. If you're going to be too slow, or if you're not going to allow the people to do it under your rules, DeFi will make its own rules and let the people break free and use their assets. Carbonswap, the DEXs are going to be needed for the D3A, the Decentralized Autonomous Area Agent. You don't know what the D3A is? Well, let's just hear it explained by the team.
Grid Singularity's D3A is a tool that can be used to simulate energy exchanges and ultimately deploy them to enable peer-to-peer trading in communities and cities.
It's a tool to simulate energy exchanges for peer-to-peer trading in communities and cities and ultimately deploy them. Carbonswap. In my opinion, the D3A out of beta and into its release will work as an energy metaverse, which will enable the creation of energy cooperatives within communities and cities that are their own agents. With DeFi, crypto farming, NFTs, and more, it can enable these cooperatives to earn and grow rapidly, which they can use the profits they earn to buy even more solar assets, PVs, and battery storage to create the next physical local grids of the future. Cheers, I'll see you next time.